We have our group there at Encore. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. We have Louise. She's on Zoom with us here, and I don't have anyone here at Peak. I'm by myself, but that's okay. So, since Wanda, you're here first, would you like to introduce yourself, who you are and everything, and then you can go into Kwanzaa.
Can you tell me how much time I have, Heather? I don't want to take more time than necessary.
Well, how much do you think you need?
Well, I do an hour presentation, but I'm going to ramp it down.
Oh, how about, we have an hour. How about like 10, 15 minutes? Is that long enough?
Yes, I'll go through it quickly without a bunch of details.
Wanda, first, I want to say you look beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but you look beautiful. I love your background and everything.
Thank you. And I'll explain some of that as well. But good morning, everyone. My name is Wanda Lewis Campbell. I'm a retired university assistant dean and adjunct professor. And I've been doing Kwanzaa for over 37 years with my family, with students.
You can sit now.
And on the K through 12 level, as well as corporate organizations. Actually, this is my busy time. I do this, I get hired to do this for corporate America. So I am volunteering my time for my board.
I love this.
The Greater Harleysville Penn Senior Services. So I'm just doing what I can to participate in this multicultural holiday setting. So you see my background. My background has the Kwanzaa elements in it.
Yeah, and chili in here.
Okay.
We might have to have Liz mute Encore if possible.
Sure.
Oh, I think she might have. Okay. Sorry.
Thank you. But I'm here to talk about Kwanzaa. And Kwanzaa, you may have heard of it. A lot of people have started hearing about Kwanzaa in the last several years. But actually, Kwanzaa was started in 1966. So it's nothing new. And it was started at Cal State University in Long Beach by a Black Studies professor, Dr. Maulana Karenga. And he started Kwanzaa because it was after the Watts riot in California. And those older, well, all of us remember when that happened. And so he wanted Black people to come together, learn about their culture, learn about their history, and be able to talk about some principles to help unite us and learn about what this celebration is all about. So Kwanzaa did not start in Africa, like a lot of people think. It started actually here in these United States in California. And Kwanzaa is taken from the African language, though, Swahili. And so that's what you'll hear in some of these words that I will mention to you today. And so Kwanzaa means the first fruits, the harvest. And you can see on my background screen some of the elements, and you can see the harvest over here. Some people use fruits, some people use vegetables, but the harvest signifies what we had planted, say back in the spring, or what our goals were in January, and where we're at with those goals as we come to the 12th month of December. And so we talk about them as a family, as a team, as a group, talk about what those elements mean to us. And so those are called the principles. And there are 7 principles of Kwanzaa. As you can see behind me, there's 3 red candles, 1 black candle, and 3 green candles. And they must be in that order: red, black, and green. And it's significant because the red stands for the red blood of my ancestors. The black stands for the black skin of my ancestors, and the green stands for the green land of my ancestors, and hope for the future, the children. So you must have those colors: red, black, and green. And some people say, well, can I use other color candles? No. For Kwanzaa, you must have 3 red, 1 black in the middle, and 3 green. And what we do is we light those candles from day 1 of Kwanzaa, which starts December 26th, the day after Christmas, and it goes through January 1st, New Year's Day. And so every day we light a candle and we talk about the principle. And so what I'm going to do is I have my setup here, and I'm going to change my background so that you can actually see what I have. And I'll actually get rid of my background. Okay, so you can see my Kinara here, my candle set, and you'll see a number of other items on my set. I have the straw mat, and you must have a straw mat because the straw mat signifies your foundation, your history, your culture, learning about your ancestors and what they have gone through, good or bad. And so you must have the straw mat, and the straw mat, as you can see here, is called the mkeka. And I'd like you to say these words with me. Can you say that? Mkeka. Mkeka, that's the straw mat. That's the foundation. That's the history. And in order for us to know where we're going, we have to know where we've come from. And so that's the mkeka. And on top of the mkeka is the mazeo, the crops, the first fruits, the vegetables, whatever it is that we have planted. And you see my basket, I have vegetables in here. And in my basket, you must always have ears of corn because they signify the children. And so I have in my basket 2 ears of corn. And so that means I have 2 children in my family. And if you have 5 children, you have 5 ears of corn. If you have 1, you have 1 ear of corn. If you have no children, you still must have at least 1 ear of corn because it signifies children, our hope for the future. And the Swahili word for the corn is babunzi. If you'd like to say that with me, babunzi. And that's the ear of corn that's in our mazeo, our crops. And then some other elements I have that I must have for Kwanzaa is the cup of unity. It's in like a little pharaoh. And the cup of unity we have because we pay tribute to our ancestors, those who have come before us. We know we didn't get to where we are by ourselves, be it in these jobs, be it in these homes, be it in the education, be it anything. We know that we're standing on the shoulders of our ancestors who paved the way for us. So we pay tribute to them by drinking from the cup of unity. And the cup of unity in Swahili is called the Kikombe cha Umoja. I know that's a little harder, but Kikombe cha Umoja. Can you say that? Kikombe cha Umoja. And that's the cup of unity that we drink from as we pay tribute to our ancestors. And then other things I have on here, like I said, the candles are called the Mishuma Shaba, and those are the candles. And the Nguzo Saba, those are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And as I said, we start lighting a candle every day from December 26th all the way to January 1st. And another item I have, I should have hung it up in the back of me, but I'll just hold it up. This is the red, black, and green flag. It's called the Bendera. The Bendera. Can you say that? Bendera. And that's the red, black, and green national flag, which was developed and designed by Marcus Garvey. And you've heard of Marcus Garvey. He designed that Bendera. And the colors, again, are significant. The red blood of my ancestors, the black skin of my ancestors, the green land of my ancestors, and hope, the children, the hope for the future. And so this is what you must have when you celebrate Kwanzaa. And so what I'll do very briefly is light the candles. and recite the principles for them. Let me turn on this lighter. We always start by lighting the black candle first. And so I'll start by lighting the black candle first. And this signifies the first principle of Kwanzaa. And before I tell you about the principle, I must drink from the Kikombe Cha Umoja, the cup of unity, paying tribute to my ancestors. And so the first candle is Umoja. Umoja, can you say that? Umoja signifies unity, unity in the home, unity in the classroom for students, unity in the community, unity even in the nation. And so it basically symbolizes that we need each other. I need you. You need me. We need to be unified on this journey that we're going on. And children always ask, or people ask, well, how can children show unity? They can show unity very easily by doing one of the first tasks of the morning. When they get up, make their beds. It's that simple. Show unity. Your parents, mom, dad, guardians, grandparents should not be making up your beds for you. You as a child should do that first task in the morning, and that's to make your bed. And it's funny because I can't leave my house without my bed made. But that's me. I mean, not everybody. But that first principle is you umoja. And how else can you show unity in the home? Take out the trash, do your chores, play with your siblings, to give your parents a break while dinner is being fixed. But we must show unity, and even between spouses and between partners, we have to show unity in the home, because that's the only way we're going to make it in a relationship, by showing unity in the home. You know, a father may give a mother a 2-hour massage at a spa or something, just to give her something to have her own personal time to relax. Or the mother may give the father time to read a book, or go smoke his cigar, or do what it is he likes to do, by giving him time to be away from the family. But the idea of umoja, unity, is that we work together in unity, even on the job. We can't go to a job and not work in unity with our coworkers. And so that umoja, that unity, and we look for it in the community and the nation as well. And then the second principle is kuji chagulia. That's a little harder. And I'm going to say it slowly. Ku-ji cha gu li. If you saw the word written, it's written just like it sounds, in syllables. Kuji chagulia. Can you say that? Kuji chagulia. Thank you. So you go to the red candle now, and you only have to light the candle or use a lighter once, and that's on the black candle. All the rest of the candles you light to the black candle. And so I've lit the red candle, and I'm going to drink from the Kikombe Cha Umoja, the cup of unity. Some people ask, well, what do you drink in that cup? Well, families, you might want to drink water. You might want to have milk or juice. And with the children, and then older adults doing it, they may want to have a different type of beverage. But you drink from the Kikombe Cha Umoja, paying tribute to those who have come before you. And that second principle is called Kuji Chagulia. And I think I said that already. Ku-ji cha gu li. And Kuji Chagulia means self-determination, to name ourselves, to speak for ourselves, to define ourselves, instead of having others name us, define us, and speak for us. And if you know anything about the Black culture, most of you know, you're at that age, that we've been called colored, we've been called Negro, we've been called Afro-American, and now Black and African-American, which I use interchangeably, Black and African-American. And it shows that we as a people are evolving, and we've decided what we want to be called. Matter of fact, I remember when the conversation began amongst Black people about being called African-American, and it was started by Reverend Jesse Jackson. And it was started because Black people wanted to identify with where their roots are, where we've come from. We're not just Black. We're not just colored, and we're African American. I mean, you have Italian Americans, Irish American, all the hyphenated Americans, and we wanted to show our connection to the motherland, which is Africa, where man descended from. And so we came up with African American, and now we sometimes don't even use the hyphen, but that's us naming ourselves, speaking for ourselves, defining who we are, and that's why we came up with African American. And think about it, even young people today, they are self-determining who they are. They're coming into their own about who I am, what I want to do. And even instead of having my parents tell me what to do, like going to college, having worked at a university for over 37 years, we had students that came to college and they say, well, I'm going to be, when you ask them, what's your major? Well, they said, I'm going to be a pre-med major. I want to be a doctor. Well, after getting into some of those sciences and biology classes, that next semester or even the next year, they changed that major. And they said, well, I don't want to do that. I might want to be a teacher. I might want to be an artist. Whatever it is, that's what I want to do. And my parents wanted me to become a doctor. So there's this self-determination about what they want to be, to name themselves, speak for themselves, and define who it is they are. And then we go to the third candle. That's the third day of Kwanzaa. And we light the green candle. And we light it to the black. And that third day is called Ujima. Ujima. Can you say that? Ujima. And that means collective work and responsibility. Now I'm going to drink from the Kikombe Cha Umoja, my cup of unity, and I'm drinking juice today. And so as I drink from the Kikombe Cha Umoja, the cup of unity, cup of unity. Kay, can you mute yourself? Thank you. So I drink from the Kikombe Cha Umoja, and I'm talking about Ujima. And Ujima means collective work and responsibility. It means that we're working together. We're working together, meaning that my sisters and brothers' problems are my problems. We all just came off of a big Thanksgiving. Most of us had a huge meal with our families and friends. And the idea is that how can I sit here and have a big Thanksgiving meal, and my neighbor next door has nothing, that I need to at least take them a plate? It might be a senior who doesn't cook. I need to at least maybe invite them over or take them a plate, because their problems are my problems. When they hurt, I hurt. And so that's the collective work and responsibility, that we become united in doing things and working together for each other. And that collective work and responsibility extends into the workplace, that we collaborate, that we work with others, that we do what we need to do to attain those goals that are set out for us. And so that's the third principle, Ujima. And then I'm going to go back to the red. You notice the red, the green, the red, the green, the red, the green, and they're all lit to the black candle, and the colors being significant: the red blood of my ancestors, the black skin of my ancestors, the green land of my ancestors, and hope, the children, hope for the future. So now I'm on the fourth day of Kwanzaa, and I light the red candle back to the black, only using the lighter one time. And so this red candle is similar to Ujima. It's Ujama. Ujama, can you say that? Ujama. And Ujama is cooperative economics, meaning that we work together to build businesses, to keep the money flowing in the community. And the money flowing, meaning nowadays we have a lot of entrepreneurs. And if you notice, any of you that use the internet, there are so many new entrepreneurs of all ages, all ethnicities, and that's because they can sell what it is they have come up with on the internet. So you don't have to limit your business to your community, because maybe in your community, there's not enough people that would buy your products, or they don't even know about your products. But now with the advent of the internet, you have people everywhere starting businesses as entrepreneurs. And it also means that me as a parent, if I tell my children, if I tell my friends and family, go to college, become that accountant, become that attorney, become a doctor, become a dentist, whatever it is, become an entrepreneur, then that means I need to support you. Can't have you going out there in businesses on your own and I don't support you. So that means supporting with those cooperative economics. And then we're going to the fifth day of Kwanzaa, which is the green. And we light it to the black. And I'm going through this quickly because I only have 10, 15 minutes. And we drink from the Kikombe Cha Umoja, the cup of unity, which you've already said, Kikombe Cha Umoja, paying tribute to the ancestors that have come before me to help me get to where I am. And this fifth principle on the fifth day of Kwanzaa is called Nia. Can you say that? Nia. Real simple word. You have heard probably of some young ladies or women named Nia. Nia means purpose. To know thy purpose, to know who you are, to know what it is you want to do. And you know, one's purpose is evolving daily. Just because your purpose 5 years ago was this, it doesn't mean that it can't change to that. And when we did Kwanzaa as a family, I think I already drank from the Kikombe Cha Umoja, but when we did Kwanzaa as a family, my daughter always had the principle of Nia, that fifth day of Kwanzaa, because that's her name. And my husband and I wanted to name our child with an African name with a meaning that she could know and remember. And we selected Nia from the Kwanzaa principles, N-I-A. And so every time we've done Kwanzaa since she was a child, that was her principle. Nobody else could light the candle for Nia except Nia. And so to this day, that child who is now 43 years old, a matter of fact, her birthday was December 19th. She does that Kwanzaa principle. And she calls her parents, me and my husband, to this day about things that, well, she's going in a different direction at work. I'm not sure what my purpose is for that. And we like the fact that our child still calls us to have conversation with us with those things that are important in her life. So on her birthday, prior to her birthday, she got a new promotion. And then on her birthday, she got engaged. So all of these purposes in her life are changing and evolving, and she still feels connected to her parents to want to call and discuss those with her. Now, we could have named her a different African name, Kujichagulia, but we didn't want to name her that. We wanted something simple and that she would be able to spell. Naming her Kujichagulia, she'd be 40 before she could spell it. But we selected Nia, and that is our daughter's name. And as a child growing up, my children, because my son is 37, always knew their purpose in life, their purpose in going to school. Your purpose is to go to school to get some knowledge in your head and learn, not to go to school to fight with your teacher or other students, not to go to school to wear the latest designer clothes, not to go to school to lay your head on the desk and go to sleep. Your purpose is to go to school and learn. And I always say when I do Kwanzaa presentations for any K through 12 students, even in college, I always say, no, young people, know thy purpose. Know what your purpose is. Know what it is your parents' expectations of you are. Know what it is you want to do. But your purpose evolves. Even as adults, a lot of you here, your purpose has evolved. It may have changed from even last year to this year, but purpose is intentional, and we need to know it's always evolving. And that's the fifth principle of Kwanzaa. So we go back now to the sixth principle of Kwanzaa, the red candle. We light it to the black. And so that sixth principle of Kwanzaa on the sixth day means kaumba. Can you say that? Kaumba. Kaumba means creativity. And I drink from the Kikombe Cha Umoja. And by now I'm drinking my wine. from the Kikombe Cha Umoja. And it means, Kaumba means creativity, to be creative in all that you do, to show creative thinking, thinking outside of the box, creativity. You see my outfit that I have on that Lisa liked, and thank you for that. But the creativity in the African attire or whatever attire we wear. And this is an authentic African attire that I have on from Ghana, which I've been to twice. And so we wear the creative attire as well. And creativity in the arts, creativity in our gift making, because a part of Kwanzaa is making gifts, and I'll get into that a little later. Creativity in the music. Black people started jazz. That's where the creativity came from in music. Black people started rap music. And I'm not talking about gangster rap, which was popular with the young people, but that was the creativity. Those three young Black guys on the corner in New York City came up with rap music. And back then, at that time, society said, that's not going to last. What kind of music is that? That's ghetto music. It's not going to last. And if you look to this day, rap music is still around. Rap music, the first song, some of you may remember, was Sugar Hill Gang. They produced the first rap album that played music on the radio. And so the rap music is still going strong even to this day. And all cultures have embraced it. There are other rap artists in different cultures. Eminem, a white guy, is a big rap artist. And if you watch the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame not too long ago, he received an award for his rap music, which he deserved. And he also gave credit to those Black artists that came before him that taught him about rap music. So rap music, society said it wouldn't last, but it's still going strong to this day. And that's the Kaumba, the creativity in the music. And when we talk about these principles of Kwanzaa, in my house, we use them all year long. We don't wait until this season of Kwanzaa to begin talking about these principles. And that's the idea of the harvest, the first fruits, the crops. We talk about these principles year round. My children in school, if they couldn't get something, I'd say, use your kaumba, your creativity. Don't think that there's only one way to solve a problem. Think outside of the box and use your kaumba, your creative means, to be able to solve something. One of my friends, a young man, he made some Christmas ornaments. Well, that was my daughter's boyfriend. And the way he proposed to her and how he made the Christmas tree ornament and showed her different ornaments he made. And then one of them said, "Will you marry me?" That he made with the ring inside. That's kaumba. That's creativity. Could have done it the regular old way and just say, "Hey, will you marry me?" Get down on the knee. He got down on the knee afterwards. But the kaumba was the way he presented it. And that's what we talk about. Use your kaumba, your creativity, and all that you do. And then we get to, that was the sixth principle. I didn't light it. I'm lighting that candle. And that's the red candle, the kaumba. As we talk about the creativity, and we drink from the Kikombe Cha Umoja, the cup of unity, and that's the principle of kaumba. And all that you do, try to be creative in how you do it. And then we get to the last day of Kwanzaa, and that's the seventh day. Don't forget, I said Kwanzaa starts December 26th, and it goes every day to January 1st. So the last day, January 1st, you light the last candle. And that's the last green candle. And that principle is Imani. You've heard names, women's names, Imani. Can you say that? Imani. And Imani is faith. Have faith in everything that you do. That faith that's the size of a mustard seed, that you can't see, but you know it's coming. You know it's going to happen. Even if you're working, that faith in that, when your supervisor evaluates you, that faith will come through, that you've done those things that you're supposed to have done, and you've been able to accomplish and attain a lot of those plans you put forward, say back in January, or for children back in September. But that faith in your parents, that your parents will put a roof over your head, food in your belly, and send you to school to learn, that faith in your teachers, that they will teach you and help you grow and learn. So that faith, that small faith is important. And it's interesting that Kwanzaa, we started with the first principle, umoja, meaning unity, and we ended up with the last principle, faith, imani. And so that connection is there, that we have that unity and we get to the point of having that faith that we will do those things that we said we're going to do. We don't dwell on what we haven't done. We may not have accomplished all of our goals, say starting from January to December, but we talk about what we're going to do to get there. We're not going to beat ourselves up and say, well, I didn't accomplish this, I didn't get that, but I'm still working on it. And that I will get there. Have the faith that I will get there. So here you have the Kinara, the candle holder. It's lit all 7 days. And some people like to ask, well, what happens if you can't do Kwanzaa all at each day? And like me, when I go to New York with my family, we all get together and we do Kwanzaa one day because families today are so scattered. This one may have to go back to work. That one may have to go back home. This one may be traveling. So we get together and we light a candle every day as a group and talk about these principles. And if we do it the traditional way, light a candle a day, then of course we blow them out. We start back over by lighting the black and then the red. And if we're on the third day, we go to the green and we talk. That's the principle we focus on. And when we start Kwanzaa, I told you how it came from African language, Swahili. Well, we actually begin with the word, and I don't know if you can see it, but it says Abara Gani. Abara Gani. That's that Swahili word, and it means like hello. Like when you come into the office today, most of you spoke to your colleagues and say, hello, how you doing? Well, Abaragani means the same thing. Abaragani, what's the word for today? And the word for today is always a principle. And so this is a children's book that I just showed you. My grandsons have read it so they could learn about Kwanzaa and what it means. And so I would just recite what all of this means again as I wrap up my presentation, because I know others are coming after me. But so we have Kwanzaa, which starts December 26th through January 1st. And it started in California by Black Studies professor, Dr. Malana Karenga, basically after the Watts riots. So Black people could get together, learn about their history, and talk about the principles and have a solid foundation. And so you must have some of these items that we talked about earlier. I have the mkeka, the straw mat that my mazeo, my crops are sitting on top of, because that's the foundation. You got to know where you're coming from to know where you're going. And then here you saw my crops, my first fruits. And in the crops, you must have at least 1 ear of corn. I have 2 because the bunzi, the ears of corn, signify the number of children in the family. And of course, I have 2. If you have no children, you still must have 1 ear of corn to signify the children, which are the hope for the future. And then you have your cup of unity, the kikombe cha umoja, and you always pay tribute to the ancestors whose shoulders you are standing on. And then we have the candles, and in that color, the red, the black, the green, the red blood of my ancestors, the black skin of my ancestors, the green land of my ancestors. And I also showed you the bandera, the red, black, and green flag that I have folded up, but the colors are still the same, red, black, and green. And so when we do Kwanzaa, this is how we light them. This is what we do. We talk as a family about all of the principles, and seniors in the family are very important. We believe and we honor those that have come before us and all that they have in the knowledge. The seniors carry so much knowledge. And sometimes today, young people don't want to hear the senior stories, but we love hearing those stories. The children, the grandchildren love hearing what grandfather has to say, what grandmother has to say about back in the day, or when they were a kid and when bread was cheap, or what they have to say about where the family is today. And that's sitting down talking about the principles. And then we also have gifts, and we call the gifts the zawadi. Zawadi starts with a Z. Can you say that? Zawadi. And those are the gifts. The gifts aren't bought. We don't get broke for Kwanzaa. Sometimes people get broke for Christmas trying to buy the latest PS5 and all these expensive video games. Our gifts are made, and I have some made gifts here. This was made by my daughter when she was in the 6th grade, and it's her handprint, and it was made in an art class, and that was made, and I keep that to this day. I still have that, as you can see. This was made by my son. It's a clay piece with a pharaoh in a tomb. And my son made this in his art class as a child. So you can't keep all of the kids' artwork and all of that. But the special ones, yeah, we need to keep those. And so those are from my children. And also my children, when they were in elementary school, we lived in Tampa, Florida. And in their elementary schools, they made books. They wrote books. And these are books for my children who are now grown adults. And I still have these books that they wrote. So I have authors in the family. I have authors from when they were kids. And even they are like, Mom, you still have those books? Of course, I still have those books. And so the Zawadi are gifts that are made, gifts that we show each other from spouse to spouse, partner to partner, gifts of love. Gifts signifying the care that we have for each other, not necessarily running out buying diamond earrings or just jewelry and stuff like that, but gifts that come from the heart that we make. And so that's the idea of the Zawadi, the gifts for Kwanzaa. And then we end up, when we finish Kwanzaa, we have a karamu. And a karamu means a feast. That's eating. You know, everybody celebrates around food. You're getting ready to celebrate around food for Christmas. And so we have the karamu, which is the feast. And what we do when we get together, each family brings a potluck dish, so the work is not on one family. We all eat together. And now with COVID, a lot of times people cater it, so we don't have to worry about bringing dishes. But we end with the karamu, which is the feast. And so I've given you the principles of Kwanzaa. The first one, umoja, meaning unity. The second principle, kujichagulia, meaning self-determination. The third principle, ujima, meaning collective work and responsibility. The fourth principle, ujama, meaning cooperative economics. Then we go to the fifth principle, nia, meaning purpose. Then we go to the sixth principle, kaumba, meaning creativity. And we end with the last principle, imani, meaning faith. So those are the items that we use when we do Kwanzaa. And again, it starts December 26th through January the 1st. And so we have the gifts, the zawadi, and we end with the karamu. And then the language of all of these words are Swahili language from Africa. And when we begin Kwanzaa, we say abaragani, which means what's the news for today? And the news meaning what's the principle for today. When we end Kwanzaa, we always end with another Swahili word, which is harambe. And harambe means pull together in the struggle. Pull together. Harambe means if I can like myself, my brown skin, my curly hair, my wide nose, my thick lips, then if I can learn to love myself, I can learn to love anybody else and work with them in unity to get done what we need to do. And unity also meaning having that faith in our leaders who lead us in organizations and groups, that they have the vision to take us to where we need to go. So that harambe means pull together in the struggle. And believe it or not, we're all in this together. And we finally are starting to realize that as a nation, that we're all in this together. So we ball up our fists, and I'm going to ask you, ball up your fists, everybody, wherever you are, and you're going to put your hand in the air 7 times for harambe, and I'll count it off. Ready, go. Harambe, 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 harambe. Pull together in the struggle. Happy Kwanzaa. I'll be glad to entertain any questions if I have time, Heather, or if you want me to wait until the end.
No, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love it. Absolutely. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Anyone? Louise? Connie, anyone?
I've known of the Kwanzaa, but not the detail. And it's really fascinating to hear and her presenting all the different forms and her dress and everything. It was just wonderful.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I had no idea what it was, but oh my gosh, I love it. It's cool. I love it.
Thank you.
Everyone
And,
should be doing this.
and the thing is, a lot of people think Kwanzaa is new. As I said at the beginning, it started in 1966 by Dr. Malana Karenga, a Black Studies professor in California. So it is not new. And it was started here in these United States. And today, over 20 million people participate in Kwanzaa.
Heather?
Any questions, Connie, from your group?
Wanda, that was fantastic. How did you learn all this, the traditions and the learning and the culture around it? Because you're so educated about it. When did you start learning about it?
Started learning about it years ago because I heard about it and I wanted to know more about my culture and the traditions. And I wanted to be able to, especially after I had children, be able to pass that down. So as I said, we've been doing this, and my daughter is now 43, and we named her Nia after the fifth principle of Kwanzaa. So we wanted to do it. Somebody asked me, well, did your father teach you that? No, my parents didn't know this. I taught them. So that's why every time we would go home, we would get my mother, my father, all the relatives, aunts, uncles, cousins, and everybody to teach them about Kwanzaa because they did not know about it. So it was something that interested me. I always want to know about my history and my culture. And so that's why I learned about it.
So I'd like to, not to end you early, but I want to give Jay a chance to talk about his festival before our end of our session in 15 minutes. So thank you so much, Wanda. That was awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me, everybody.
All right, thank you. We'll go back to questions after Jay, if anybody else has questions for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So Jay, I'm sorry. Hi, I'm Heather. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Heather.
If you want to introduce yourself, and then you can tell us your traditions during the holidays, if you could do that for us.
Sure. Thank you so much, Heather. And thank you, Connie, for giving me this opportunity to connect and share the traditions in Hindu religion and Indian culture, I would say, in general. So Diwali is something that is very equivalent of the Christmas holiday season in Western world or in Christianity, and or Kwanzaa for or some other in other religions. So Diwali is a 5-day festival, and typically it is known as the Festival of Lights. And because the name is appropriate, Festival of Lights, because as we see around Christmas time, the lights everywhere, on the house, inside the house, near the altar, and every room in the house as well. And in the public places. If you go during Diwali time to India, then you will see this is very evident in on each building, whether it is a government building, a company building, or individual houses. They are lit with these little lamps that are made of earth, the dirt, and then is nicely so traditional lamp with oil and a cotton wick in it. That is how the traditional lamp is, and it is lined. So Deepavali means the series of lights. So that is obviously then is known as Festival of Lights. And what does that mean? Why do we have to light those lamps? There is a practical physical implication of it, as well as a symbolism in it. So the practical direct meaning is typically Diwali comes or is celebrated in the month of October, November in India. And those months are cold winter months, and the nights are longer than the day. And so in order to impel that, remove that darkness, or in your surroundings, these lamps are lit all over. So that's the direct meaning of Deepavali or Diwali. And then the symbolism is that as the light is providing that illumination all around you in outside, the soul inside you also should provide light up in your inner feelings, inner the mind dimensions as well. So it is a light outside, and that symbolizes the light or the happiness inside also. So it becomes a nice festival on physical as well as emotional and intellectual front, and it becomes a spiritual experience as well. So now with that, I would say Diwali is a 5-day festival in India traditionally. First day is called Dhanatrayodashi, where there is a ritual performed for worshipping the goddess of wealth. Dhana means wealth. So first day is worship for the goddess Lakshmi for wealth. Then the second day is called Naraka Chaturdashi. So so the Trayodashi is, so the Indian festival, all festivals are designated a particular day in the moon's 2-week cycle. And so it starts from Pratipada, the first day of the new moon, and ends in Amavasya, which is the dark, the no moon day. So, and between these 15 days, it is then designated as first day, second day, third day, which is Pratipada, Dvitiya, Tritiya, etc. So the first day of Diwali occurs on the third day of moon's cycle, when after the new moon, and then the Chaturdashi is the fourth day. So and then the fifth day is the Lakshmi Puja. Third day is Lakshmi Puja. Fourth day is the Bali Pratipada, and fifth day is Bhau-Beej. So all these 5 days are traditionally so much linked to each other, and they progress in the same sequence every year. And each day there is a special worship for that particular goddess. And also it signifies not only the worship of the gods, but also it signifies important people, important events in our life. So the first day is the Dhanatrayodashi, when the wealth is welcomed into the house with a small worship. The Naraka Chaturdashi is a very significant day, which is celebrated all across the country in India and by Hindus, because it signifies a victory of goodness over evil. There was a demon called Narakasura, and he was taken away. He was killed by Lord Krishna on that day. And so it's the victory of Krishna. And I'll just show who Krishna is. So many of you might have seen this picture with the 4 horses riding and a chariot on which this dark-skinned person who is the god Krishna is riding this chariot. And this is a famous book called Bhagavad Gita, which is the core of all the Indian or Hindu philosophy. So this Krishna, he went and killed this demon called Narakasura, who was troubling mainly the women. And he had 108,000 women imprisoned in his jail, and just for his pleasure. So there were atrocities at all the levels. Women, people. He kind of took over the entire many of the kingdoms around, and he was troubling, torturing people. So Lord Krishna had to take on himself, and he went and fought with his consort, his wife also, Satyabhama, and then he won over. So that day is signified. Now the third day is the Lakshmi. So what happens is, when the warrior win the war and they come back home, what does the family do? Of course, they welcome the winners, the victorious army and the soldiers at their homes. They put nice tilak, like I'm showing on my forehead here, red color powder that signifies the presence of the soul in Indian mythology, Indian philosophy, that the soul of the person exists here in between the two eyebrows. And that's why you might see in many of the Hindu people put these, particularly ladies, they put on an everyday basis, and which signifies that they are married also. So they and then they show the light to the family and welcome them to the warriors, and then they give nice oil massage and give a bath. So that tradition of welcoming the men when they come home and giving them oil massage and a nice ceremonial bath is still continued after probably many thousands of years as well. So it signifies the victory of good over evil, and then welcoming the men or those who fought that war and won over the evil in a nice ceremonious way. And then there is a lot of nice food that is prepared by women and everybody share. And this happens in very early morning, that when these warriors have probably come home. So that's the second day. Third day is the Lakshmi Puja, where Lakshmi means the wealth. But it's not only the wealth of money and wealth of gold or the material wealth, but in spiritual sense, it is a wealth that is love, compassion, sharing, caring, all these good values that we base our lives for a good personal life as well as for community life. So all those are signified by the Lakshmi. The goddess Lakshmi, I don't have a picture here, but I will show you a little later. So the goddess Lakshmi, here you can see one picture where Lord Rama is the male god, and then next to him his wife Sita, that is also known as Lakshmi ji. So she incarnated on this day of Lakshmi Puja. Same day, Lord Rama, as I showed the picture, he also returned home after killing another demon whose name was Ravana. So the Ramayana and Mahabharata, these are the two main books that tells the story, the history of Indian continent. And so Krishna happened in, say, 5,000 years ago, while Rama's history goes back to 10,000 years ago, or even more. So by some estimate, it would go in many up to 30,000 years ago. So the events, the original events have happened in different times, but they fall all in close vicinity. So this whole festival of Diwali became a series of celebration for 5 days. So the second day was for Lord Krishna, third day is for Lord Rama, victory over the evil. Then the fourth day is called Bali Pratipada. So this is an interesting story that also goes in the time of even before the Rama, that the god has incarnated in different forms, and in one of his forms, he has sent a king who was very mighty, very good natured, but he had an ambition to overtake the entire system that God has put on this earth. So he wanted to be the supreme commander, supreme owner of entire universe, and denouncing what God has put that system in place. So God himself had to come in the form of a Vamana, a little boy, and punish that king. And that day is marked as Bali Pratipada, as fourth day. So which is also, celebrated by this king who is over ambitious, who is taking over the earth, although because he had so much of ego that he wanted to own everything, and God did not allow that. So that is also celebrated. And then the fifth day is very significant. It is a brother sister day. So it is called Bhav Bees in Indian language, in Sanskrit, or in other Indian languages. So this fifth day signifies the love between the brothers and sisters. And it is very personal and important that the brother that day goes to sister's house, even if it is hundreds of miles away. The brothers will make an effort to go to sister's house, and the sister will welcome the brother, and they will have some time together. So this is how of these 5 days are being celebrated in Indian culture, and it encompasses these 5 principles. I would like to share. That says, first is do or action. Second is love for all, that is bhakti. Third is jnana, the knowledge. So action, love, knowledge, and then the meditation, dhyana. So it's about yourself. So it encompasses the principles of the action, good actions, and love for all, then the knowledge, which is the basis of our life, and then the connecting with yourself also. So these 5 days signifies these principles that are inbuilt into these 5 days of celebration in Indian culture. Diwali pictures you might find on internet, quite a few. If you just Google Diwali, you will have thousands of these pictures. So thank you very much, Connie and Heather, for giving me this opportunity. But I very much relate to the Christmas in the sense of festival of light and all the good values that we cherish in our life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Oh my gosh. Learned a lot today.
Oh, sorry.
Good.
I couldn't show you the more pictures. I just returned from vacation yesterday from South Africa, and so got a little bit late also. Sorry, Connie, about that. But yeah, this is the Indian traditions are pretty strong, and family basis we celebrate over and over, and these stories not only come from previous generation to us, but there are many books also written on the symbolism of Diwali and philosophy behind it.
Wonderful. Anyone have any questions or comments or anything?
Any questions?
No?
So this is a traditional dress that we wear, a kurta. This is called kurta on the top, and then additional scarf that goes on top of it, because India is a hot continent, so we don't need a scarf or kind of that is holding on to the neck, but it's just free flowing, and then there is a pant underneath that goes, and then there's a lot of celebration while doing worship or other actions. Thank you.
Very nice.
Do the women wear saris as their traditional dress for that? Diwali?
Yes. Saris are the traditional dresses, but nowadays with the new generations, they are coming up variations of those saris, because wearing sari is not a easy task. It's an art by itself. So it is a 9-yard length cloth, and that need to be wrapped up in a particular style, so you look more attractive as well as traditional. But nowadays there is a lot of fusion combinations, half saris and quarter saris. But the mark of this red on your forehead is supposed to be the auspicious and religious symbol for all Hindus.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. Any other questions or comments on this? This is wonderful.
Very
Absolutely.
interesting.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jay. Thank you for sharing. And I think we all learned a lot. So
You're most welcome.
thank you. All right. Anyone else? All right. Well, everyone, thank you for coming. This is great. It's our first one. We'll do it again next year, holidays. Okay.
Thank you. All right.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody
Bye-bye.
have a
Merry
wonderful,
Christmas.
yes, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, have wonderful holidays. Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.